The Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 7th place in the Central Division after 44 games skated this season. They have a record of 15, 22, and 7, 37 points. Well, has them very far outside the playoff picture. On home ice, though, the Predators have reached double digits in wins with 10 now, 8 losses, 3 overtime losses. I have 109 goals scored this season. They've given up 137, a goal differential of minus 28. Now, the Predators' next opponent is the Minnesota Wild, so that game will take place at Bridgestone Arena. Let's talk about the Preds next week ahead. Then we'll update you on the Central Division, talk about the game itself, the matchup, and everything else going on in the world of Smashville. So for the Predators, after this game against the Minnesota Wild, they'll close out the homestand against the San Jose Sharks on Tuesday, and then immediately jump on a plane. Maybe they'll even share a plane. That's just a joke. I know that they won't. Thursday, they'll be in San Jose, so a home-and-home back-to-back with the San Jose Sharks. It'll be the first time the Predators have played the Sharks this season. Then the Anaheim Ducks on the 25th. They'll also be the first time the Predators have played the Ducks this year. They'll close out the regular season series against the Vancouver Canucks on the 29th of January at Bridgestone Arena. And on the 31st of January, they'll close out the month of January in Buffalo, facing off against the Sabres. That Central Division right here, updated standings. The Winnipeg Jets, 65 points, first place overall. The Minnesota Wild, will talk extensively about them in a moment, at 58 points, and are in second place. The Dallas Stars just 1 point behind at 57. The Colorado Avalanche at 55, just outside the cutoff for the automatic qualifying playoff spot, but still very much in the hunt. 48 points for St. Louis, 43 points for Utah, sees them in 6th place. The Predators are 37 points in 7th place, and the Chicago Blackhawks have 31 points and are in last place in the Central Division. For the Predators and the Minnesota Wild, this is the end of the regular season series already. It's matchup number 3. We go back to November the 30th to find matchup number 1. It took place in Minnesota. It was the Wild scoring a 3-2 victory in overtime. Saros took the loss, 25 saves on 28 shots against. O'Reilly Svechnikov scored for the Preds. Gustafsson got the win for the Wild, 25 out of 27. It was Kaprizov, Spurgeon, and Chisholm all scoring for Minnesota. The two teams would meet again on New Year's Eve in Minnesota again. The Wild would come away with the victory again, this time in regulation 5-3. Noonan got started for the Predators, went 33 out of 38. Marchessault, O'Reilly, and Sissons with goals in the game. Gustafsson picks up his second win of the season against the Nashville Predators, going 43 out of 46. An impressive effort right there. Rossi picked up 2 goals in the game. Brodin, Chisholm, and Zuccarello also scored goals for the Minnesota Wild. So the Predators are 0-1-1 against the Minnesota Wild so far this season. 1 matchup to go. 1 of 4 points secured. They've been outscored by a total of 8-5. Updated injury report for the Predators because it is extensive and numerous. Wilsby, injured reserve. Stastny, injured reserve. Cole Smith still on injured reserve. Luke Evangelista still listed as out at this time. Now, the Minnesota Wild, they are currently in second place in the Central Division. After 45 games skated, they have a record of 27, 14, and 4, 58 points, has them 7 points shy of first place Winnipeg and 3 points ahead of Colorado to secure their automatic playoff bid in the Central Division right now in the 2-3 matchup. On home ice, the Wild have a very strong record of 16, 4, and 3. As a matter of fact, better on the road than they are at home. They've scored 135 times this season. They've given up 127 goals. They have a goal differential of +8 in their most recent stretch of 5 completed games. We go back to January 7th, where we found a 6-4 win versus the St. Louis Blues. On the 9th of January, it was a 6-1 loss versus the Colorado Avalanche. Followed that up on the 11th of January, a 3-1 win at San Jose. The 12th of January saw a 4-1 loss at Vegas, and most recently on the 15th, a 5-3 loss versus the Edmonton Oilers. Gustafsson 31-36 taking the loss. So the Wild come to Bridgestone Arena on a 2-game losing streak, also losing 3 of their last 4. Taking a look inside the matchup and the numbers between these two teams, the Minnesota Wild at 2.96 goals per game is 18th best in the NHL, while the Predators at 2.45 is 31st, which is 1 spot better than being the worst, so it's at least 1 spot better. Goals against average 3.11 for the Predators is 21st in the league, while Minnesota giving up just 2.78 per game. That's 10th best in the NHL. Shots on goal 4 per game, 28 overall for Minnesota's 18th, 29.3 for the Predators is 11th best in the NHL in the shots against category. Nashville's at 29.1 against, that's 23rd, 29.6 for the Minnesota Wild is 27th. When it comes to the special teams, the Predators have the advantage in both of these statistical categories. On the power play, 19.8%, 19th best power play in the league, 25 conversions, 126 opportunities for Nashville, while on the Minnesota side of things, 19.5% conversion rate is 21st in the NHL, 22 conversions, 113 opportunities. On the penalty kill, the Predators 5th best best in the league, 83.1%. They've given up just 22 power play goals against on the season, while the Minnesota Wild are 29th overall in the NHL, rated kill 70.9% is their kill rate, 32 power play goals against. That is one of the places you can find the Minnesota Wild to be susceptible this season is when they are shorthanded. Philip Forsberg paces the Nashville Predators individually with 13 goals, 25 assists, and 38 total points. Marchessault catching up, though, 14 goals, 19 assists for 33 points. Yossi is 8 and 22 for 30, so 3 Predators now over 30 points on the season. Steven Stamkos, 15 goals to lead the Preds, plus 14 assists for 29 points. O'Reilly is at 13 and 13 for 26. Over on the Minnesota side of things, Kaprizov is a dominant force in this league and does not get nearly the headlines he deserves. 23 goals, 27 assists this season for 50 total points. Boldy is a very strong hockey player as well. 17 goals, 22 assists on the season for 39 points. Rossi, 2 of his goals came against the Nashville Predators this season. 17 total, 22 assists, 39 points. Matt Zuccarello, 11 goals and 21 assists for 32 points. And Eriksson Ek, 7 plus 13 for 20. Gustafsson's got 2 victories against the Nashville Predators, so no reason to think that John Hines isn't going to give him the start at Bridgestone Arena. He's got a record overall of 18, 9, and 3, 2.58 goals against, and a 9.14 save percentage. UC Saros, nice game in his last start. Comes in with a record of 10, 18, and 6, 2.75 goals against average, 904 save percentage, and 4 shutouts on the season. That's got you all set for the Predators versus the Minnesota Wild at Bridgestone Arena. It's a Saturday night. It's Preds' 4th game of this homestand, and they've got an opportunity to win their 3rd game in a row. Believe me, the crowd will go wild if the Predators come out and play good against Minnesota. We got to go back and check out what happened in the last game of this homestand. I kind of let the cat out of the bag there by saying the Preds are on a win streak. You already knew what happened. Let's go back and talk about it, though. Let's do some analysis after the recap, and then we'll have a little bit of fun here before the end of the show. Right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.